What's up, guys? It's Jaded, and real quick before I get going on the news stuff, I just wanted to touch on the auction house again really quick because it's such a big debate for everybody. It's a big focus point. I just want to say whether you agree with me or disagree with me, the reason I make these videos in the end is just to spark some sort of discussion and to get you guys critically thinking about what's going on. And maybe even bring a side of things that you haven't heard. It's real cool to see people come out and say, I didn't think of that. So, and that's cool to see that. So anyways, getting into it, the biggest thing to come out of the event, in my opinion, was the skill system getting changed. And at first, I was kind of blown away. I was like, this is huge. This is a big deal. They basically gutted the whole skill system out. They're removing traits. They took out skill points. So how does this work? What exactly does this mean for the skills? They saw the psychology of how the skill systems made people play their game, and they realized that the way skill points influenced how you play was not a positive way, because you would just dump all your points into one thing and then never really experiment outside of that. So when I first heard about this entire skill system revamp, I was a bit shocked because we're so late in the development that, this is a big deal. This is the core of the game and the core skill system that they completely changed. And once I had heard Jay Wilson, kind of go over it and talk about it, and Bashiak made a huge post on it, it just all made sense. And I'm really happy that they went with this because it's changing Diablo 3 for the better. No longer will you have to worry about respecking. You can basically swap skills in and out on the fly. As you learn them, you can experiment. There's no worry of, okay, I dumped all these points into Bash, and now I can't, check out another skill because this one just does so much damage now. Instead, you're going to be able to pick 6 active and then 3 passive. And I'm going to go ahead and link you guys to Bashiak's post because it just explains it in a very detailed manner. It breaks down all the elements of why they changed it, and it just really makes sense. So I'm happy that they did this. I think it's a great change. So the next thing to come out of the event was the fact that you have to always be online now when you play. And people are up in arms about this because their internet connection isn't stable, they travel a lot, maybe they're a soldier and they don't always, have a strong internet connection. So me personally, this is not going to affect me one bit. I always played Diablo online. I never felt the need to play it single player. So really this has no effect on me, and it's hard to put myself in someone else's shoes that's not going to get to play the game because of their current situation of not having internet or whatever. And it's a real bummer for those people, but here's my take on why I think Blizzard actually went with this. And I really don't think it was the DRM thing. I think it was to get players involved in the multiplayer environment, because when you allow people to play offline and their character saves to their own hard drive, they're not going to take that character and then go online with it. They're just going to, they invested a lot of time into that. They want to keep playing with that. And really, this cuts those people out of a lot of what the Diablo experience is going to be. And this is the biggest reason I think they really want people to play online is to use the money auction house, right? Even if you play single player, having access to that auction house is a big deal. Maybe you have some stuff that you have no purpose for, you're gonna gravitate towards using that service. And then maybe eventually you get into selling it for real money because, hey, why not, right? And so that puts money into the whole system. Whether you're buying or selling, you're using that account and doing transactions. So that's ultimately what Blizzard wants out of that system, is it to get used. And that would be my biggest guess to why they pushed always online so much. For StarCraft 2, they had something similar, but you could have like a play offline mode, but they're not going to have that this time around. So playing off of that bit of news, there was also the talk of no mods. So you're not going to be able to mod the game. They don't want you to mess with the files, tool around in any of that. They don't want this game modded. They want it secure as they can make it, and that's why all this stuff kind of coincides with each other. People are saying that why no mods, you know, like that adds longevity to the game. But I think, you know, going back to the same stuff, that always online and you know, even though you're playing single player, you're always online. They want players all together in the same spot, and when you allow people to mod the files and create other gaming experiences, you're kind of splitting your user base. So these people are not all in the same spot doing the, you know, playing the same game. You're splitting the user base up into these different areas. So, you know, these things can have negative impact for some people, but again, they don't affect me. I never took part in the only mod I ever knew about for Diablo 2 was the Median XL mod. You know, I never really did any of that stuff. I was always just playing online with my friends. So this news doesn't really affect me in any way badly. I'm kind of indifferent either way about it. Alright, something else that came out of the event was the Cauldron of Jordan and the Stone of Recall. So what the Cauldron of Jordan does is it allows you to sell all your items on the battlefield. Whenever you want, you could sell anything you want. And if you sold something wrong, you just go back to town and buy it back from an NPC. This is a great feature. I don't think anyone has a problem with this. You know, it's just a solid feature for the game. And the Stone of Recall is basically a Hearthstone. And the only problem I have with it is it's basically a Hearthstone. It's not really unique to the Diablo, you know, genre. It's a 10-second channel, and if you get attacked or hit during it, it will cancel out, and so you can't use this in combat indirectly. And another thing they added was banners, so player banners. When you join a game, your player banner will be in like the main town, and if friends join your game, they're able to click on that banner, and then it instantly transports them directly to you. So no longer will you know, have to ask friends to open a portal because, you know, you need to get to them, or maybe you take a waypoint and then walk to them. You just click this banner and then boom, you're instantly in the combat, you're instantly in the action, playing with your friends. I think that's a very cool way of going about this. I'm all for it, definitely. You know, I can't think of any problems that would arise with this. So this is kind of a strange bit that cropped up on their website with their beta announcement website. There's this spot in there where it's talking about Hell and Inferno difficulty. I don't know if this was intentionally released or like they really haven't talked about this, so I'm like really curious now, like what is Inferno difficulty? What does this mean? Is this just like insanity difficulty where you can, I don't know, like what type of loot's gonna drop? How's it gonna play out? You know, I have all these questions, but no answers. So we're gonna have to wait to find out what that's all about, but really interesting. Alright, and the last thing I'm gonna talk about is the Demon Hunter got a revamp on the resource system that they have. It's basically 2 resources now that you have to monitor. One of them is called Hatred, and the other is called Discipline. I couldn't find any screenshots of this, so I don't have any idea how it looks in the UI, but it's 2 resources that fill up on their own, and different skills. So the Hatred side of it is all your combat skills, all your offensive abilities, and then the Discipline is all your defensive. I think it adds like a really nice, unique feel to the Demon Hunter and sort of depth to the resource system. You know, you kind of got to balance each of these out. So for those of you guys who don't know, they had a conference call today, and by the time you hear this, it'll be yesterday. But they had a conference call, and they were supposed to announce the beta date. And everybody was, you know, waiting for this. Everybody was like, oh yes, you know, there was kind of some bad news with the event, but there's finally going to be a beta date to sink our teeth into and wait for. But unfortunately, they ended up just copping out once again and not giving us a beta date. What's up with that? So it can happen anywhere from now until the end of September. They said it's going to be still in Q3. So, you know, there's only so much time for that. And so we're going to get beta within 2 months. It would have been nice to have gotten a date, of course, but at this point, waiting is waiting, and I'm pretty sure we're all used to it. Alright, that's gonna do it for me. If you guys stuck with me this far, I got a sweet little nugget of information. Go into your beta profile, your BNet beta profile, and make sure you guys update your system specs, because they want you guys to do this with their new tool that they put up there, and which grabs more information for them. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna go off of this list first. So go do that, guys, if you're interested in the beta. I'm gonna wrap things up. Thanks for watching, guys, as always. Thanks for all the constructive comments, all of them. I don't know if I'm gonna release an episode on Saturday this time. In fact, I'm pretty sure I probably won't. So if that's the case, I'll catch you guys next Wednesday for another episode. I'm out, guys. Peace.